Here I have some grass. Let's talk about the purpose of this. So the aim is this bunch of grass here is to multiply it out in a convincing clump of grass. So these are the kind of the building blocks that will go to making up that grass. Now at the moment it's in a collection, blade clump, say at the moment it's going to stay like that, and it's got 10 blades in it. And out of interest, so I'm in object mode, and if out of interest, if I do a G, in fact let's put screencast keys on. So if I select them all, in fact don't select them all, just select one even, do a G, the whole thing moves, which is kind of what you'd expect with a collection, but I don't know why I can't always replicate that, so I'm going to do a Control Z on that, because that's just not strictly relevant, but something that's been a little bit annoying me. These blades of grass are now standing up for other information to take, say, I don't know, that one, the item. What's going on there? Do I have to select the whole thing? Why isn't the item showing me its size? Interesting. I dare say there's something wrong there, but never mind, fine. I'll pick one there. Item. Don't know why. That's in object mode, and yet I can't see its dimensions. That's fine, don't care about that. So what we're going to do now, so there are two, there's a collection, and then there is a plane. There will be a plane on which we sit the collection. What to say about that? So we're going to go into we're going to top orthopedic. We're going to do a Shift A, go to mesh, go to plane, and right now that's massive, but that's okay actually, we want it massive, so I'm going to do a G and move it out of the way, and that's all. I'm not really caring about the array right now. It's hard enough to get to this point. There's an array evolved in the original, but I don't care about that. Okay, next step, I'm going to call this plane grass base, cause that's what it is, and okay, and call this grass base as well. Okay, you might notice that the grass is actually positioned over the plane, but it doesn't matter. It's a bit untidy of me, but it's fine. So let's shrink that back down again. Okay, so that's our grass base. So we're in object mode, selected the grass base, and now I'm going to go down to the item for the menu item for particle properties. I'm going to do a plus, but it might have been helpful here actually if I'd renamed this a bit more. Grass, I'm just calling it 01, I don't know. Right, so let's get rid of that, can I? No, I can't get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to say plus, and yep, I want a particle system, and I'm going to call it base PS, and I'm going to call this PS, base PS. Okay, and I want it to be hair, and I want it to be advanced, although I'm not totally sure right now that's kind of required. And the first kind of test is, have we got hair? And yes, we have. The next point we're going to go to within the particle system is emission, source, and distribution, which is currently jittered, and we want to be random. At this point, I have not done the weight. I haven't applied the weight. So, okay, let's see if we can do it in the middle of doing it like this. Okay, so I'm in object mode, do a right click and can't do things there. So I'm going to tab to edit mode and do subdivide, go down to here and do a number of cuts. What does 10 give us? Let's say that's okay. Yeah. All right, I'm going to do 20. In fact, doing 20. Oh, never mind. It's fine. Okay, and then I want to go to weight paint, and then press F, and then I can change the size by moving the mouse, not scrolling it, of where I want the painting to go. These plants here aren't coming into play. So if I do something there, and something that was emphasized was we want those to kind of be pretty much in focusing on the middle. Okay, let's call that it. And I will go now back to object mode, and we've still got our hair, and it's still spread all over the place, all over the square, which suggests that the weight paint hasn't come into play yet. Now the next one is to go to vertex groups. Vertex groups, here we are, and the instruction was to pick on density. Now you notice here that we've only got the word group. Now in the 2.9 video it actually named the group as being blade clump, but I don't have that evidently. But what's a plus here is the weight, so all we know is a group, but what that's had the effect of evidently is bringing the weighting, what's it called, the weight paint into play, because it's not now spread all over the square. Next, go to the render for the grass base. All this so far has been around the grass base, and the default is render as path. We're not going to use that. We're going to say render as collection, and let's see what that's done. So again, on the face of it, not a lot. Okay, as far as we can tell right now. But then I'm told that we need to move this to say 3.52, and I hit return. Again, that hasn't shown much at the moment. Okay, I might need to go back over some of these things. So we said, instance collection, hang on, I'm missing something. So we got render as collection, and then within collection, where it right, okay, so we got render, and then collection is a subset of that, comes under render, and then click on here, instant collection, and we see blade clump. So as I click that, let's see what happens to the square in the view. Right, okay, so that scale, this is what I've seen before. So that scale is, firstly, that's probably way off, too much. So let's just try a 1.5 for instance to start. And it's intriguing that it's, in fact, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I don't quite understand why it's spilling over. And let's do it some more. 0.2. And let's try 0.15, and maybe that's more like it. And then we have another thing, which is the scale randomness. So let's just try. First of all, let's increase this over here a bit, and then drag it around, and then scale randomness. If there's another thing, global Z on rotation. Okay, before I come to the scale randomness, let's go to where is its rotation here, and we're going to have the orientation is going to be global Z here. So that's kind of centered things a bit more, which is quite interesting. I won't go back and see what happens if I switch that on. And then the suggestion for that was 0.25, but again, let's see what happens when I hit return. That's quite nice. Well, I'd say it's quite nice. It seems okay. If I do a Z here and do a solid, that's not quite right, is it? It's interesting. Why rendered? What does rendered look like? Doesn't look right. I'm intrigued as to why I'm not seeing. This is good, but I'm not seeing any colour. And I don't understand why that is. Okay. Right, and so next thing we need to go to is render, back to render and scale randomness. So that in principle gives us thicker and a mixture of thicker and thinner grass blades. So we'll say let's try 6.9 and return. It all looks a bit sparse. Maybe part of the problem there was that back earlier, that's a point, I'm not sure if it's stopped now.